Whoa, hang on. Give me a sec. Can you hear me? You can hear me? What the hell's going on? I've got like no audio at all. That's what. I might drop out and drop back in if you can hear me. Cool. All right.
The comic book view cam, which is still up and running. And I'm pretty sure some people out there will tell me if there's any audio or no audio as soon as, but it's looking like it's pumping out. It's just, I can hear it and it's me running. So I'm seeing how. So how do you mute that? Gosh, this is all very confusing. Okay, let me just turn this off for a second. Good job there's nobody watching. All right, so let's see if that works. Hopefully we won't hear any more sound from that side of the room.
What's up? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I clicked on your video as well and I couldn't hear anything either. But then
No, I think there's been some issues. So for some reason, I don't know. But it's working now, which is good. Welcome.
Good. Thanks,
Welcome.
mate.
Great to
Thanks
have you. You missed my intro.
It was really like laggy. So it's like you went live and I was like, what? Why is he going live? He's not even here yet. And then about 40 seconds in, the intro came in. So I saw some of it. I didn't, but I don't know if it's the connection or what, but it's all good.
Well, as I say, I introduced you as Australian comic book royalty.
Oh, really? I missed that. Yeah. I'm going to go back and clip that.
And our real Australian royalty as well is not here either. So Neville's still not arrived. So that's good. Always, I'm sure he'll join at some point.
Always like that guy.
Yeah, well, he can't be relied on. I mean, unless it's got a comic book involved.
Yeah, that's right.
So, well, welcome and thanks for coming.
All good, mate. All good. Probably going to drop out probably just before 1, just because I've got to head out for lunch. So
yeah, no, that's fine. I've sort of booked that time anyway. So I don't normally run these for about an hour anyway, and they're sort of, as I mentioned, they're quite informal. So yeah, welcome. It's good to see you. I've been watching a few of your videos.
Oh no, I lost the audio again. Oh no, now it's just me running the show. Anyway, I'm Simple Simon, Australian royalty. I can't. Yeah, I'm getting no audio from you. Like it's just silent. So I don't know. Let me. As soon as you dropped out that other screen, it cut out. I'm just gonna jump onto your actual. Yeah, so I can hear me in the live feed, but you're still silent. So I don't know what's happening. That's really weird. Yeah, so I just clicked on your live feed and I can only hear me. I can't hear you. You didn't mute by accident? Nope, still can't hear you. Nope, still can't hear you. Because, yeah, before it was silent and then you came to. So I clicked on your live stream and then had nothing. And then I clicked on Mad Spidey's stream and it had audio. And then I clicked back to yours and all of a sudden you had audio. So I don't know what's happening. You don't have a mute button on your mic or anything like that? Waka waka. Anyway, if anyone's watching right now, welcome to still only 35 cents, the weekend watch list. We're just having some technical difficulties, but we will be back with you shortly. Private chat. Here we go. Still no sound. Yeah, well, you're not even in the image now. I'm sure you know that.
No.
Oh, I got you.
Sound?
Yeah.
Everything. Oh my
What
God.
was it?
So I set up this extra camera, which is this camera.
Yeah.
And I made that the main camera.
Okay.
And as soon as that turned off, all the sound goes.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be YouTube or a live stream if it wasn't full of issues. And literally, this is like third week using. Do you use StreamYard?
Yeah, I do now. Yep. In the beginning it was, you get used to it, but yeah, I've been doing it for a while now. I don't do a lot of streams though live.
Yeah.
Like it's just when I get a chance to, so I don't have like a regular scheduled thing. I just when I have a weekend off and I have time, I'll do a live stream. So
yeah. I was playing around with it, and I'm more and more thinking I'll do one of these once a week, and then do the main videos, which will be a bit more detailed, because I think the biggest problem was I was doing a lot of unboxings, but they were quite scrappy. So I want to do the unboxings here.
Okay.
And then have guests on and then talk through as we unbox and etc. And then go through some of the books, but then do a deeper dive with the main videos, because I just feel that this is a little bit better.
Yeah, people like their live streams, definitely. And it would definitely help your channel with like your watch hours and stuff like that. So
yeah.
So when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I still hadn't hit 4,000 hours like viewing time for the monetization. So I just started doing live streams like 3-4 times a week, and then I hit it pretty quickly.
All right, I hadn't thought of it that way. I didn't even know that live streams could count.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, they can.
Okay.
So for example, Mad Spidey, he does his weekly hangout now, and it goes for like 5 hours. So every week he's getting massive hours just from that live stream. So as soon as he hits the right number of subscribers, he'll be monetized straight away. But I didn't really have that. I was doing a stream once every month or so, if that. So
yeah. Oh, good. Well, that seems to be now working. So how did you want to kick this off? I've got a bit of a box to show.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. But I was hoping Neville. It's not that big. It's not that big. But yeah, I was hoping Neville will be here, because I think this is going to be something that would have interested him. So, he misses out.
All right.
Yeah, let's have a look. Have you got anything from this week?
No, I've brought some random books of just stuff that I've picked up over I guess more recently. If you've seen videos, you've probably seen them. Because I know you guys are more like collect your big boy books. So I don't have a big collection of big boy books.
I don't know if these are big boy books. Some of these are not. Like some of these are, because I've got a lot of big boy books, but I've also got little, I like the vintage, obviously.
Yeah.
But it was interesting because I watched your video on the the comic book store that was struggling, and the pull list. So I used to have a pull list of all the modern stuff quite a while back, and I got out of it. I've sort of dropped off probably about 2017.
Yeah.
And I used to have a pull list. I used to have a pull list at Incognito, but this was post. Yeah. Do you remember that store that was in Melbourne CBD at the top?
Classic Comics.
Classic Comics, yeah.
So they were around when I first started collecting.
Yeah, so I used to get my pull list from there, and they were fantastic, right? And it was a real shame when that place closed down because you could go every week. You didn't have to worry. They kept your books for as long as you needed to, knowing that you'd go in.
They're still on eBay, so
yeah.
But it was a shame because when they were around, it was my early, like when I first started collecting. So I didn't really know what I was doing back then. So I went in there and I just bought new releases because that's all I kind of knew. So I didn't know how to go bin diving into back issues back then, you know. So I didn't know what I was looking for. And when you've got so much to choose from, it gets overwhelming, especially if you're new. It's hard to know where to begin with that stuff. So now I get overwhelmed when there's so much choice, but now at least I kind of, as long as things are separated properly, like, you know, you got characters or titles, I can walk past the title and be like, oh, I'm looking for this issue, or I'm looking for this cover and things like that. So, but yeah, I'm more modern, I guess. But even I'm getting to that point where, you know, like people like the weekly comic haul I do, I'm going to stop it at the end of the year just because I'm not really getting enough books to justify. Like when I first started doing that show, like, it was probably nearly 3 years ago now. I was getting my new release books every week, but I was also getting a lot of mail call, and the mail call was like the back issue stuff and the keys and the, you know, classic covers and things. But now I just really get my weekly books. So I'm showing like 2-3 books a week. It's not really worth it. So
yeah, the last couple of weeks you've got nothing in your pull list.
Nothing. So I just grabbed some stuff off the shelf. I felt like I was obligated to buy something to show people for the week.
Yeah. And it's funny because I've got a video that I wanted to share with you as part of this conversation this week as well. Was that comic book guy that's all the creators have sort of lambasted, and he did I'll share it with you in a little while. It's,
yeah, because I remember you mentioned it. I wasn't actually familiar with the story. Oh, not from reading it anyway.
Yeah, I'll put it on in a sec, but. Yeah, let's have a look. Let's have a quick look at this. See what you think.
Cool.
And again, I don't know if you know much of the stuff that we were going to talk through.
No, well, you were going to show some recent pickups, so I'm down.
Yeah, so this is this recently came in this week. So first off, got some Werewolf by Night issues, which includes the giant-sized creatures, which is I think the first appearance of. Patsy, is Patsy Walker Tigra? I think she is.
I'm not a massive Marvel guy, so I don't know a lot about the Marvel characters.
That's the first Tigra, I think.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, anyway, we'll go through those in a sec. And then this again, another one. I like my Bronze Age horror. Nice. And so this is a whole bunch of. You probably see at the back, George Perez Man Wolf. Nice. Which was, I think they were trying to sort of hone like a Spider-Man villain that got his own title, which was a bit, it was. They were trying to sort of do the werewolf thing, and I'm not sure if Werewolf by Night was running at the same time, but this was a Spider-Man werewolf character. And then, last but not least, it's just one book. Oh, okay. Warrior #1. Do you know about this?
No.
So this is UK magazine. I think it was Des Skin, who was the editor of Marvel, left and did his own thing. Now this is the true first appearance of Miracle Man.
Okay.
Otherwise known as Marvel Man in here. The Alan Moore run, and also V for Vendetta first appeared in this book.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this is, I'll open it up. This is, it's hard to get in high grade because they just smashed. CGC didn't used to grade them. And so I've been trying to find a half decent copy to submit. And I found this, and it looks pretty good. It's got a little bit of an issue on, it's got some residue on some tape residue here.
Yeah.
But the spine, I don't know if you can see this. Like that's
Yeah.
pretty clean for this book.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is it's like a UK. Let's just see. Yeah, they're Miracle Man
That's
or
cool.
Marvel Man as it was then.
That's similar to the Aussie reprints, right? It's all black and white inside.
Yeah. So these, so it is Marvel. Yeah, so it is in this one. It's Marvel Man, and then they actually produced the Mirror. They had to change the name because obviously it was still the rights were just a bit of a mess, and they published it in the US called Miracle Man. And then, as I mentioned, it's also got the first V for Vendetta.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, with Dave Lloyd art, written by Alan Moore.
I haven't read it, but I only just watched the movie. Actually, I think this year I watched it.
Right.
First. Yeah.
Well, the movie's quite accurate.
Yeah.
The book, like, I mean, that's the thing. It's one of those few ones that did quite well back in the day. So,
actually, I think I've got the trade. Actually, now that I think about it, I think someone gave it to me. I don't know. I've got a lot of stuff I haven't read.
Yeah.
So,
I've got the original. Oh, is it here? There he goes. You missed it, Neville.
Yeah.
What did I miss?
You missed all the technical difficulties we had for the first 10 minutes.
That's all right. That's all right. I messaged.
He knew it was going to happen. That's why.
I messaged you about 10 minutes ago saying I'm just setting up my laptop, but you guys were in the thick of things, so you didn't notice me.
There you go. You are there. Yeah. Well, welcome. It's good to have both of you. We were just shooting the breeze. We're just opening up.
Yeah, no, I was watching for quite a while before I joined. So,
cool, good. So, did you see this?
Yeah, man, it's amazing, eh? It's such a good book and it's beautiful. Yeah, somebody was actually auctioning one off on Comics and Toys Australia, and I just got sniped right at the end. I'm still dirty about it. It's one of the ones that's definitely on my hunt list.
Yeah. How do you get rid of, like, what would you recommend in terms of getting rid of this stuff? Like, it's dried on.
Yeah. Oh, look, I think a lot of the guys just use like a moist rubbing alcohol, right? But not enough to actually dilute from the colors. I'm always way too paranoid because when I do it, I just press too hard, and I think you have to have a light touch. When I do it, I just take cover off. It's just terrible.
Yeah, but this is not solid, so I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Oh, look, I think there's a few guys who will be able to help you out with that.
I got a book that I want to get. I've got a giant pricing sticker on a book that I want to get off, and I don't know how to go about it, except for maybe a hairdryer.
That I've done successfully a few times. You actually moisturize the actual sticker on the top, and then heat it up, and then you peel it off.
Well, what about the sticky residue? How do you get rid of the sticky residue?
Yeah, that's usually the more tricky part to get rid of than the actual sticker itself.
Yeah.
That's
cotton buds, man. Cotton buds.
Without rubbing alcohol, right?
Patience. Yeah.
But I've messed up a few books trying to get rid of stickers. I've graded them with stickers rather than get rid of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I am. I've got a few actually. I've got some graded, some 6.57, and they got the stickers on the cover. I'm like, I'm not going to bother trying to get rid of it and dilute the value of the book.
With old books, if it's got a date stamp, does that affect the grade?
No, I don't think so.
So you can have could you have a 9.8 that has a date stamp?
Yes, absolutely.
Really? I've got a 9.6. I've got a 9.6 that's got a date stamp.
Okay.
So definitely, I'm sure it's okay.
What will nail you is if it's got writing. So you can never go above a 9.6 if it's got writing on the cover.
Okay.
Oh,
that's the difference. Unless it's a pedigree. Right?
Yeah.
So if it's a registered pedigree, it can. But if it's a normal book, so I've got a whole bunch of... Go on.
No, I got a few books back from CGC, and I got some of the 9s, and they had writing on the cover. I was surprised. I'm checking to see if I can find the photo of the book I'm referring to. But I was like, oh, even eat the 9s with the pen on the cover.
They'll do a 9. I've got Captain Britain. So the UK magazines, and you probably would know this, Neville, because some of the books you've got, I saw when you were at the Yarraville Toy Fair. They would have been, a lot of those books have like an address or a name on them because that's how they used to save them in the newsagents. Yeah. And so basically you'd have this back cover and you'd just have this number or name written on it for the newspaper collection. And I've got a few of those that are graded, and they're only hit like they can never get above a 9.6. And I've tried. Yeah. And even what's Matt Nelson, I wrote to him specifically about this, and he was like, "Yeah, if it's anything, if it's got writing on the back or anywhere, it's a 9.6. It can't go any higher."
Yeah, it's interesting,
So,
I'm flicking through some of my CGC books now. I've got an 8.5 and 9.2 with pen on it. I guess as long as it doesn't actual damage the book, if you go with a hard blue point pen, you can actually do the cover damage as well and break the color of the cover.
Yeah, that's the worst part. As soon as you get any color, then that's an automatic couple of grades down.
Yeah. But those date stamps, you're going back to your question, Simon. I think the date stamps, they're fine. The UK variants, especially, I think their date stamps were intentional as part of the distribution too. So
okay, I know a lot of people who like the old books. They love that date stamp. So
yeah.
Oh, I've got what was it? The Amazing Spider-Man that I got doesn't have a date stamp on the front cover. It has a date stamp on the internal cover, on the internal splash page.
Yeah.
And again, I mean, this doesn't matter at that sort of grade, but it's. I actually think that the date stamps add some real character to it.
I love it. Like I'm all for being rich and owning high grades of Silver Age and Bronze Age books, but at the same time, when you do own books with date stamps and sometimes a name written on the page of the previous owner or something up, I think it's part of the history of the book. I really enjoy it. I don't have anything against those.
I don't know if you saw my live stream last week. There was I got a Tales to Astonish. I think it was a 92. It's the precursor to the Silver Surfer Hulk battle. And I opened it up on the last page where you see this massive splash of the Silver Surfer. And some kid had written, hey, it's me. So sort of I took a great book and just completely ruined it.
But I guess at that point in time, it was just another comic when they did it.
Yeah.
You've seen my X-Men one, right? The 0.5, which looks like a kid must have had that as like an arts project because it had enamel paint and glitter and markers and tape and everything on that cover. And I'm like, it is what it is. You can try and restore it; it'll still be a 0.5, I'm sure. So just leave it as is.
You should get like an artist to do a sketch over the black parts.
Might as well. It's not going to make the grade worse. you saw that I had John Samaria do that for me on First Thanos, right? Because it was in a short box with moisture, and the cover tear, the comic in front of it, the back cover tore off and stuck to the front of Iron Man 55. So you could actually see the advert from the previous comic stuck onto the cover of Iron Man 55, and he actually drew Thanos for me on top of that. It looks amazing.
I saw that. I was super jealous. It made me want to go and destroy a book just
so that you could do something like that. He kept saying, "Oh, it's sacrilege," because he's a big Iron Man fan. But when he was done, he's like, "Okay, looks cool." I can see why you wanted it because the book cost me $50. It was so damaged. It wasn't like it was a high grade, high value book.
No, but it's a great way of adding character to it.
Absolutely.
It's have you got a photo of it? It'd be good to.
Oh, look, I can see if I can find it. Yeah.
It'd be good to sort of show everyone because it's always like unless there's a link. I suppose they could go to your Instagram, right? But it's way back now, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I'll find the photo.
Yeah.
It should be quick and easy.
So did you have any books this week? Simon and I, we've just gone through the unboxing.
In terms of new reads, no, I didn't get to the shops to actually buy it. I had a few mail calls. I got Fangoria one from
nice.
Billy. Yeah, it's a beautiful book for its age too. I got a few Japanese Spider-Man books from the early '70s or mid '70s from Stephen Gato. But I actually brought a few of my highlights for 2023. I'll show you guys.
Oh, nice.
And as it happens, they're not necessarily American copies. They're just some random stuff. So when we get to it, I'll show you. But yeah, I think I've got probably at Big City, I've probably got 3 or 4 weeks worth of books at the moment. So I haven't really gone to pick it up. I look forward to my break. I'm on a break from Thursday for a couple of weeks. So I'll just sit back and catch up on reading.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what are the titles you're both getting at the moment? I know you're Something's Killing the Children still going for you, Simon.
Yeah, that's the main title. That's the only title I'm probably up to date on reading. Everything else I'm way behind. Like I just haven't really been interested in reading the superhero stuff anymore. It's just not doing it for me. So I really like when I barely read anymore, but when I do, I go through the millions of books and I normally pick out like indie titles, and most of them are just first issues. And if I like it, I might then go back and try to, pick up the first few. So
yeah, there hasn't been anything that's grabbed my attention of late.
Yeah, I must say that some of my favorite series stopped or they finished because of the mini series. Like Human Target was amazing. At the moment, my highlights are probably the new Ghost Rider, but that's ending. I think the final issue just came out.
I've heard that's
disappointing. Good. It was probably the best Ghost Rider run since the 90s.
I actually want to go back and try to pick up the first few issues to check it out because Ghost Rider's a character.
It's nice.
Yeah, like I haven't really read a lot of Ghost Rider, and I read the previous one. I read the first few issues of the previous Ghost Rider, and it was okay.
Yeah, the story didn't really go anywhere. This one is a lot darker, and it kind of starts off with a bang, which was nice.
Yeah,
they recently had that Ghost Rider Wolverine 5-issue crossover, which was really, really popular, and they had that Halverine cover that everybody's going crazy about. So I was lucky to just have it on my call order anyway to pick those up. Aside of that, the new Hulk's amazing because again, it's a lot more horror focused than the Donny Cates run that was prior to that. I think Donny Cates, having been in the accident, it lost a lot of momentum. So the story started off with a cool concept and then kind of died in the ass by issue 12. But the new run is really good. It's a lot more dark and gritty, and it kind of suits the Hulk really because he's supposed to be a monster, not a superhero, So no, I'm enjoying that. And then I also collect a few DC things. The Image stuff that I've been buying recently, Department of Truth, but I haven't seen any new issues come out in about 4 months now, which is unfortunate. But I think my call order at Big City is probably 15, 20 comics, and then All-Star Comics another 10 or so. So it's busy every month.
So who's the current Ghost Rider in this new run? Is it
yeah, so they've actually got a run for each of them at the moment, right? So, right. So there's 2 Ghost Rider comics. It's not Ronnie, so it's not Ronnie. It's the original brothers. And it's really nice, man. It's got a lot of horror aspects to it, and the art itself's done really well. So So how can I share the Thanos images? Yeah, can I?
You should be able to. Have you got a present button?
Yeah, you go to present. And then you better share.
Okay, let me. I'll just get it in Messenger then because I just got it on my phone.
While you're doing that, I'll show something else off. Talking about new pickups and achievements for this year.
Yeah,
I managed to get
look at that. Yes.
1972. This is a UK.
It's graded A2, man, for newspaper print.
There's only, I've got another one in grade at the moment with CGC. It's got the free transfers in there, then they're immaculate. Like it's not damaged in any way.
Yeah.
And the highest grade for this book on the census is 8.5. That's the highest grade. So this is like just slides just underneath, but it's great. I mean, this has got the first appearance of Hulk. Well, it's not got the first appearance of the Hulk, but it's got the first issue of the Hulk, Fantastic Four, and Spider-Man in it.
Wow.
And this is what
all in one big bang.
In one big bang, yeah. And then so I do have one.
Oh, you got another one.
And this one.
Oh, there you go.
Signed by the man himself.
Easy. That's amazing.
Back in the 70s. This one doesn't have the
old school blue pen as well, eh?
Old school blue pen. Biro, yeah. But it's just like this is the sort of we had to put up with. Like it's not even black and white, it's black and white and green.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I'd be interested to see how this compares to the Australian books.
Yeah. The Australians were full black and white internally. Anyway.
Full black and white.
Yeah.
I mean, then you get like pages like this, which is sort of you get a bit of green, a bit of black and white.
Yeah. It's a good way of cutting corners. I've got a lot of those the 70s UK prints, man, and sometimes those colors work really well. Like with some of the Spider-Man Tales ones and the Super Spider comic ones, and
yeah,
they look good in semi-color.
These are the things that I love, though, because you don't get this in any other books.
Yeah,
all this sort of cool free gift stuff, and luckily the stamp's still in there. So this is the UK. I think Marvel Value stamps must have been done in here first, because essentially they had these little stamps in the book.
Yeah,
and you've obviously got Stan doing his special introduction.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love these. They're so good to have copies of. So
that
was a good.
Yeah, it's a great book though, man. It's amazing. Despite with us thinking the Marvel Value stamps are common knowledge, people still don't know, right? People still buy and sell books with a stamp missing, and they really realize it after, and it's heartbreaking. I've bought a few books where they're like, "Oh, we didn't know it had a stamp." It's like, oh, shit. Anyway, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I had one recently. I can't remember what it was. Was it a Werewolf by Night? No, I think it was one of the Man-Wolf books that I bought, and it had literally one copy was immaculate, another copy looked immaculate, and then I opened it up and there was the value stamp, and not just cut out, right? Like that you can sort of understand, but this thing was ripped out.
Yeah,
like the whole page.
Yeah, damn. So. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I've had books graded with missing pages where the graders didn't pick it up, man.
Really?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Anyway, so yeah, this is it, man. So what you see there, it almost looks like the cover's torn through, but it's not actually.
I can't see it. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you can't see it?
No, I got it.
There you go. We'll do it that way. Wow.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
It's sick.
So what you can see, it looks like the cover's torn through, but it's not actually. It's actually a different comic's back cover that's stuck on the front of it, and he drew that for me.
Ah, that's cool.
That is so good. What did it grade out again? Did it grade or not?
No, I haven't graded it. This will be maybe a 1 if I'm lucky, but likely a 0.5.
Do you know what though? It'd be great in a yellow slab, that one.
It would, eh? It would. I should. I think get it to fill out the creative forms.
Yeah, because that's the thing with that is even at a low grade, that's going to be someone's going to want. If you ever want to get rid of it.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine you wanting to get rid of it. It's like
because it's nice, man. Yeah, it's got a story to it, and that it goes back to the early conversation of I love high grade books, but these ones that's got character, they're unique, man. They've all got their own thing going for them, and they just beautiful.
Yeah,
special spot.
If I can ever find anything like that, that's inspired me, that one, because that was such a good book to do.
Yeah. And James, shout out to James Anthony Joseph, because it was on their wall in their stall. And when he heard what I wanted to do with it, he gave it to me for half price. So I got it for like 95 and I got it for 50 or something. He's like, that's such a good idea. You have to do it.
Yeah, no, that's really
so that was really good. Yeah.
I need to go hunting for low grade now.
Yeah.
just a little bit like that that's damaged.
Yeah. It's low grade. It's all about affordability, but at the same time, it's got that patina to it, right? Talk about low grade. One of my favorite books of 2023. Look at that. That's another. It's a 1 at best, right? I spoke to John Robinson at Hot Press Comics. He's like, he can clean it for me, make it look a little bit better. It's never going to change the grade. It's always going to be a 1, or maybe in that area. So I might just grade it as is, keep it as is, and not risk doing anything to those staples that's being held up by I don't know what, but they're still intact at least.
Yeah, that's such a good book.
Yeah.
I was talking to the John and Richards at Bronze and Modern Gods about that, because we talked about Daredevil 1.
Yeah.
And there's this Australian copy, right?
Yeah, this is Horwitz 1965. So it's Australian, yeah. So that's 10 years before the Newton copies came out.
Yeah.
And they're just amazing, man. It's a ghost of a book.
But that cover, like, just use, because they use the interior splash page rather than the actual main cover.
Yeah, they redrew page 1. And it's the art's a lot more feathery. I don't know. It's illustrated. It's not like a comic art page. Like he's added wrinkles and everything. So it's like somebody who's used to drawing like cowboy comics that said, I'll do the cover for you.
So they've just touched it up.
Yeah, it's very, very nice. So that was definitely one of my highlights. Kevin Patrick in Growlands has actually sold that one to me. I spoke to him the night before over a few beers on chat, and then the morning I drove through to his house to go pick it up. And he was nice enough to entertain me with a drink and take me out for brunch and give me the comic. That was good outcome.
It's a good deal.
Yeah. I've been trying to get another copy in South Australia for the past almost a year. And the guy wants to sell, doesn't want to sell, wants more money, isn't sure if it's enough money. So I might have 2 copies one day, and the other one's probably about a 2.5. I can do a 2 for Tuesday post.
There's got to be some of them hanging around somewhere, surely.
Yeah. Look, they're around, man. It's just people who have them on sellers. They're just collectors. They'll just be in boxes and files, and unless you don't know what you got. I think you're as likely to find it in a vintage store in Outback Australia for $5 as you are to find it for $5,000 in Metro Melbourne.
Yeah. And what about you, Simon? You got anything this year that big?
Big?
Well, not
yeah.
big,
So,
something that's pickups that you've enjoyed.
I got a massive book. So, and again, I did a video on this pretty recently, so people who do watch my stuff have seen that I got this. But a bunch of friends in America who got together and posted me a bunch of really hot books that I really wanted for a long time. This was a book that I never thought I'd own. I reckon Neville's probably got a copy if I had to guess. But they say it is. And it is definitely a big book.
Oh, it's a beautiful. It's a classic, though, man. It's an absolute classic.
Yeah, I think I saw one selling at Yarraville once, and I saw the price tag, and I was like, all right, so forget about that. I'm never going to own that book. And then I think I mentioned it once in a video, and this dude hit me up. I was like, hey, man, I'll get you that book. I was like, dude, it's expensive, and shipping's not cheap, so it's all good.
Yeah.
And he's like,
it's a big size, right? Yeah, it's a big book, too.
So he actually got a few people together to I think chip in for the postage and stuff. There you go. So this man Neville will just pull out any book from anywhere at any time, mate. He's got like,
oh no,
of course you do.
They just happen to be behind me because I'm packing up house.
Of course,
they're amazing though, man.
Do they make slabs for these?
No, it's too big.
I was going to say,
big.
Imagine that in the slab.
Jeez, yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, so
they are beautiful.
That was obviously, just a real surprise because I didn't think that I'd ever own that book. And then the other one, well, they sent me a few. I'll just show one more that I was really stoked to get because this was another book I was really chasing hard this year. And it's an expensive book, but I was trying to get it for around the $200 mark because every now and then people got lucky with auctions and would pay maybe, and I'd bid up to $200 and then get outbid by, $220. And it was mostly in the US. And I was happy to pay postage for it. I also have a friend in the US who I actually get my book shipped to, and then he ships them to me once he builds up a few.
It works well like that.
But yeah, I got the Planet Comics.
Oh yes.
Oh,
dude,
nice.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's beautiful.
So that was another one. He was like, "Hey man, what else do you want? Got me this." So freaked out.
Yeah.
The funny thing I didn't realize. Sorry.
Is that Dave Stevens? That cover?
Dave Stevens,
yeah. So big Dave Stevens fans, and his books are a little bit harder to find down here now. What I didn't realize was I bought a book off Neville. I think it was the first Yarraville Comic Fair. I bought the Dave Stevens. It's got Sheena on the front. I think it's the Jungle Comics.
Yes.
I bought that from you, right? And what I didn't realize is this is on the back cover of that book. I think. I actually haven't looked at it, but I saw someone else show that book. Yeah. And it's got this, but it's got like a blue or purple sort of background instead of yellow.
Oh yeah.
So but yeah, I was super stoked to
side by side if they're different. I didn't know.
Yeah, well, I got to actually. I don't know where I put you on, but it's somewhere in my comic room. When I find them, I'll do a side by side image. So, but yeah, I was super stoked to get that one. That was like my favorite.
So, are you sucked in with Treasury editions though? The big one? Are you thinking of getting more?
I'm totally sucked in. I just.
Where do you put them?
Give me one sec.
You just pile them in a big pile. So
they're in a big pile. It's like this high, right? And it's ridiculous. I'm probably missing now about 10 of the total run.
Oh wow! Okay.
So much so that I'm starting.
Thank God I'm not a completist, man. I sold so many. Yeah,
That's
it's
cool.
beautiful.
That's a recent one. Really good grade. And my other problem is I always try and get as high grade as possible. Like,
yes,
I'm
of course you do.
Yeah,
I always
so I
go for
love
the
that.
lowest.
I love it.
This guy, man.
I know,
Seriously.
it's terrible.
But
Let's see
these
if we
are
can show a book that Neville can't pull out.
just
That's the challenge.
the thing, Davo,
Yeah.
man. Like this is the trilogy, though, Simon. And I think now that you've got Superman, Muhammad Ali, you need to own 4 of them, right? This is the one that Dave just showed. So
Someone's at the front door doorbell.
Hang on.
Superman, Spider-Man.
Yep.
Yeah, I have
That
got
one?
one that you don't have.
This is the second one, and then
Yes,
Battle of the
one of my
Century.
mates picked up that recently.
This is one you need to grab, man. Oh, look at that.
You
Is
haven't
that the
got
UK
that
print?
one.
That's a UK
Yep.
print. That's awesome.
Yep.
No, I don't have that one.
That's how complete this I am. I'm ridiculous. But I haven't got.
Is that like magazine size though? Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
that's so this.
2000 AD size.
I'm probably going to get that graded because it's. I don't.
It'll fit. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even.
Neville's
know.
getting FOMO, I can tell.
Yeah, he wants to join. He wants to join.
No, that's beautiful. You know my weakness, foreign comics, so that's great.
Yeah, I should. I've just got a whole bunch of 2000 ADs. I don't know if you saw the videos previously.
Yeah.
And I've managed to get, I think, pretty much all the run through 1 to 300.
What? That's amazing, man.
All locked down. All This is another one. Talking about end of this year, and I don't think I've shown this to many people yet.
Wow. Yes,
Issue
2 of my friends have landed that book this year. Ben Bacon also showed off his. I think he's on his way to Heritage for auction. He's got a 7.
Wow. Yeah.
So good, man. An 8 is what a grade.
I know. Super happy with it. I've got 2 more going. I picked up 2 more copies this last week.
You don't have a pissy low grade lying around that I can afford, and
maybe so. I've got one it's coming through, and it's basically apparently it is low grade, spine's a little bit split.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the price. There was some. It was a UK auction, super low price.
Yeah.
And it had got number 2 in there, and I think it ended up going for about £100, and it was probably 2 to, I don't know, probably 170, just interspersed issues, and 2 to 6 was in it.
Wow.
But it was hidden right at the back underneath. So on the photos you couldn't see it unless you read the description. You wouldn't know it was there.
So it wasn't just a leap of faith for you.
Well, I sort of knew it was there because I'd read the listing, right? But then it did state in the listing that the 2 was a bit low grade. So that's one of the 2 copies. But the other copies got the stickers in, so that'll go straight to CGC.
Yeah. Well, Dan Byrne hooked me up with a 2000 AD listing. I think I bought, but not early issues, from 190-ish upwards till about 700. And then also the quarterlies and the magazines and the Crisis magazine. So there's, I don't know, about 600-700 books. I got it for $100. I just, because I'm busy packing up the house to move, I just realized I've got to figure out how to pack them. How do you pack your 2000 ADs? What boxes do they fit in?
If you go to archive, archive boxes do a big. I don't know if I can lift it up, but there's basically I've got 3 or 4 of these, and they're corrugated plastic, and they fit them in perfectly. The bigger problem you've got is bagging and boarding 2000 ADs because there's a specific size for them. Yeah.
And that's the thing. At the moment, they're just in a massive trunk, so I'm going to either have to move the trunk as is to my new house and make it next year's problem, or I've got to do something about it over the break. Because I just don't want the old ones to damage, man.
I'm going back to the UK early next year, so I'm probably going to just pick up a whole stack of bags and boards, bring them back. Just, Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know well you know them, Simon, but they're inconveniently big. The earlier 2000 ADs, because they're pretty much square.
So they're not magazine size. They're different, are they?
Oh, they're a little bit bigger, actually.
They are
bigger than magazine. Yeah.
It was like when they released Last Ronin. That Turtles book. It was like a little bit taller than the magazine.
Yeah.
That one's not so much of a problem. That's probably regular.
It's magazine height, but not width.
Yeah.
Lost Rainers. Yeah.
And so it's okay. It fits to the CGC slab, and it still works within the magazine bags and boards. So I've got mine just in magazine bags and boards. It has a bit of room around them, but they still work. But these 2000 ADs just don't fit in anything.
Yeah, it's
and then there's a place in Australia that I managed to get A4 bags and boards. Let me just bring one of these out for you. For these early issues, you'll notice the difference in terms of. So they're beautiful bags.
Yeah, that would
and
be
then
cool.
at the back, they're not normal. So they're apparently acid free, but they're just brown paper or brown card.
Yeah.
And I just if they did the 2000 AD size, I'd be buying these from Australia. But
is that the guys in Brisbane?
Could be. Hang on.
Preserver Haven or something.
Oh, I think I ordered some bags and boards from them recently because they're the only place that had them.
Pack it in. I think.
Pack it in.
Packitin.com.au.
Okay, I'll check that out. That's a new one for me.
Sarah was asking before in the chat. You know those boxes, those plastic boxes that Mark's selling at Big City?
The Vigilante ones.
Yeah, she was just saying, how do they compare to the BCW ones?
I am a convert, purely because of the fact that they're more forgiving when you want to put in anything from Silver Age to modern books, and you can stack them side by side. So it takes a little bit more comics than the normal short box. It takes about 50 more, but you've got to pack them side by side. You do get dividers, but they don't come with a box, which is odd. You would expect them to say, here's your box, here's your divider, but you got to buy the divider separately, which is annoying.
With BCW, you mean?
No, with the Vigilante.
Oh, with the V ones. Okay, so the V ones have slots for them, do they?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And the thing is, if you pack them full, it's almost not an issue because the comics hold each other in place. But if it's not full and you've got like 2/3 full one side and a quarter the other side, they'll just flop around. So you've got to get that divider in. What I do like about them too is it flicks open to one end like a bin, like a real bin. It doesn't have the two little flaps.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So you get full easy access to them.
Is this the Vigilante comics?
Yeah.
You can probably see here. I got a stack.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, they're good, eh? You got to get used to the fact that they're different, but they're good.
Well, the only problem I found with the dividers that they give you are good, but it gets a bit tricky if you've got silver on both sides because of the size. And then the other thing they sell dividers, and those dividers again same problem because they're sort of silver gold size.
Yeah,
they can sort of bend a little bit. Yeah. But they're bloody good books, bloody good boxes. I find.
Yeah, I've been using it for a lot of my non-standard international books because, like Australian, like the Newtons and the Yaffas, they're all different sizes. So when I buy stuff from overseas, they come in all shapes and sizes. So a box like that's a lot more forgiving. So I just fill up one side, and then I'll likely put on smaller books like the Japanese Spider-Man and stuff on the other side. At least you fit everything into one box, right? I find it so annoying that things are just 20 different sizes and you don't know what the hell to do with them sometimes, like the treasury editions and stuff. So I've always got books in shelves and drawers and everywhere stacked up.
I don't know where you could. I mean, I haven't tried putting some of the magazines and other books in that box yet, but I suppose I should. I
just realized I've got this behind me. This is what I was talking about earlier. So this is the Kubisha Marvel Spider-Man from 1978. It's got the cover from, I think, issue 54, 55 with Doc Ock. But then when you open it up, it's got Amazing Fantasy 15 in there.
Oh, it's in color as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
I could say. So that's the first printed, dedicated Marvel comic in Japan for Spider-Man.
And where'd you get that? How do you get all that stuff? Like, I mean, I was going to ask you.
I got lucky with that. Stephen Gates, a Melbourne guy, he sent me a message saying, I've got these. Are you interested in buying them? Because I've been checking them on eBay in Japan and eBay in America for a very long time. And you can get one at a time. But he gave me 1 to 6 and Fantastic Four #1 all in one go. So instant collection. The only comics that predate that in Japan is this one. So
is that the one with Spider-Man as well?
So yeah, so it's Japanese
Spider-Man,
Playboy. Japanese Playboy from 1976, the year I was born. So it's as old as me. And it's also similar to the UK one that you just showed off. It's got two-tone colors. Check the.
Oh yeah.
That looks like it's in good nick too.
Yeah, it reprints Spider-Man graphic novel from the same year in America. So it's a retelling of Amazing Fantasy 15, but it's not Amazing Fantasy 15. It's a retelling of the origin, basically, which is really good. I mean, I don't know how well you can see there.
Yeah.
And it's also, they've adjusted the sizes to fit the page orientation, which is a little bit different to the UK one. Oh, sorry, the American one.
Yeah.
And I got to get used to it.
Noting we're at 12:54. And Simon, you were saying you needed to head off.
Yeah, I've got to go in a few minutes, but that's all good. What your plan?
Yeah, I wanted to share with you both this, because this came up this week, and actually it resonated with me, Simon, with regards to the comic book stuff that the comic book LCSs, in terms of them going down the, having difficulty at the moment. Let me bring this up. Hopefully this doesn't break again. This is the one. All right. So I don't know if you've seen this, right? But we'll play it just for posterity, and then we can have a chat about it, because I thought this was interesting.
Most of these new writers don't have the love of comics like these older writers had. And all they care about is, how can I put myself in the book? No, we don't care what you would do if you were Iron Man. We don't care who you are. You're writing Tony Stark. You're not writing yourself in a book. If that's the case, write your own comic with you in it. No one will read it because nobody cares. People grew up, growing up loving Peter Parker, loving Miles Morales, loving all these Captain America. We don't need you to put your input in it. Just write Steve Rogers. Don't write Steve Rogers. What would Steve Rogers be if I was Steve Rogers? That's not how it works. But that's, again, how most of these new people write nowadays. That's why most of the stuff is shit. Because we don't care what you would do, because we don't care about your life whatsoever. Just write a book, get paid for what you do, get paid for what you're supposed to be doing, and make it a good story.
What did you think of that? Have you seen it?
Well, no, I haven't, but it's funny. So I haven't edited it yet, but the next episode of The Noob with Mark is our storylines are going downhill, and we talk exactly about what he just, like, we talked about how there's comic book writers who understand the characters and want to keep that tradition of the character and respect their history. And then you got people who are just like, no, I want to see this character do this, even though it's so out of character for that character to do such things. So yeah, we absolutely cover that in the next episode of The Noob. So
that's good. That's timely. You should check that video out. The thing that's annoying about that video, like, he just, it's just saying what we're all thinking at the moment in terms of the quality of the books. But I think the thing that was the most interesting was all those creators that came out and attacked him.
Oh, really?
So all the fans were like, true, but then all the creators were like, "Oh, it's just a comic book guy in a comic book store," and it's like, and what if you go and follow that video afterwards? Mark Millar actually does an interview with him, and he's like, "Mate, I completely agree with you. You're the retailers. You know what sells. Yeah. Why should creators be telling you that you're wrong?" Like, so the thing that's interesting is the creators are the ones that are sort of causing issues at the moment.
Yeah, I think as much as it's the creators, it's also the companies behind them, right? They create comics and storylines with agendas or corporate outcomes in mind, where the writers have to kind of just fill the gaps to get to the outcome that they're after. And I feel like maybe the reason DC went to, you got DC and DC Black instead of Vertigo, where you can tell stories as the creator and it's not in character for the characters that you are playing around with in a different world that's not part of continuity, versus the Detective Comics and the Batman comics that's supposed to be the old school traditional Bruce Wayne, for instance. You know what I mean? But you shouldn't have one or lose one for the sake of the other. I think there's room for both.
Yeah. I just think that it's funny that all this it's starting to like. I remember when they did the Hydra story for Captain America and Steve Rogers. It's just they lost me at that point. I was like, "There's no way." Like it's just not feasible.
Yeah, and they did that for shock value more than anything. You know, they did it knowing that 6 months, 12 months from now, we'll be back into status quo. We'll just sell a few extra comics by creating controversy.
The one that I was angry about back in the day, and I don't know how you both felt about this one, was Superior Spider-Man. I hated that storyline at the beginning. Hated it. Yeah. I hated the idea of Peter Parker. I absolutely hated it. Like I understood why everyone was like slamming Dan Slott and saying, "No, you can't do this."
Yeah.
And when I started reading Superior, I got to the end of that Superior Spider-Man one, and I was like, I don't really like. I lost interest in Peter Parker a bit because Doc Ock as Peter Parker or running around in Peter Parker's body was far more interesting. So it was a bit of a strange, it was an interesting one. That's one where your self-insert did somewhat work, right? Because you can imagine Dan Slott writing Doc Ock because there's sort of, he's that sort of age and it works.
I'm gonna have to step out, guys. Thanks for having me, man. Really appreciate it. Enjoyed the chat.
Good catch up.
Let us know for future ones, man, and I'll come hang out again.
Yeah, brilliant. We'll see.
I'll watch the rest of the replay.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, see you guys.
We're just going to talk about how gorgeous you are.
All right, see you guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
So, while we're on the subject of that, I also had these as well. Now, you might have an opinion on this because you just talked about the Wolverine, the Ghost Rider story, right?
Oh yeah.
Let me stop the screen. I'm going to bring up something else. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, this is the one.
Oh yes.
Did you get that variant?
No, I didn't. I didn't bother. Yeah, I did comment this week on what somebody's post and said, look, if I had to walk past the shelf and it was there, I'd buy it out of the fact that it's so obscure. But I would definitely not have paid 1 cent more than the cover value for it because it's just not worth it. I feel like at the moment they're just entertaining the ego of Frank Miller for the sake of letting him stick around because I think he's over superheroes. He's over the genre in general. And they're just saying, okay, stroke your ego, make you come back. That's all they're doing.
But you know what? I don't. So the thing is, this is growing on me, right? For some unknown reason, it's growing.
Is it because your eyesight's going?
Maybe. No. But I think that. I mean, look, it's not a patch on his previous work, but he's getting old now. So I mean,
I get it.
He gets a bit of a free pass. But I mean, I still think, he's
but if that's the excuse, what's John Cassidy's excuse?
Well, that was my next one, right? So I can sort of see, like, you look at this, you've got. Let's have a look. So you got the Thing. I actually didn't mind this one.
The Thing's probably better than Wolverine for me.
The Thing's probably better, but same pose.
The blocky lines and everything kind of lends itself to the Thing, but not Wolverine. Check Wolverine's belly button, man. It's just on the Wolverine one.
Oh yes, let's bring that back up. Yeah,
look at that. It's
like, it's not.
It looks like Cartman giving birth, right in his midrib.
Yeah. But someone was saying, I mean, I think this is inked by him as well, right? So the question there would be, because Klaus Janson added a lot of stuff to Frank's pencils in the back of the day. So maybe it'd be interesting to see.
JC also thinks he phones it in.
What's that?
In the comments, JC said Frank just phones it in. I think so too, man. I think if he had to sit down and spend more than 20 minutes on it, he could still turn it around into a good. It didn't become unartistic, you know what I mean?
Yeah, agreed. But yeah, speaking of Cassidy,
but I mean, if you look at there you go.
This thing, oh my gosh!
It's literally like a bad action figure standing in front of. I didn't even know that they were supposed to be Beast. I thought it's like a silhouette of Sabretooth in blue. I don't know what it was, man. Somebody pointed out it's Beast. I'm like, okay, technically it makes sense because it's blue. But that's the only reason I thought it could be Beast.
Oh, but he's also done this as well. And again, you can see like this is just not the same quality of his old work.
No,
Look at
man,
this thing.
that's terrible. And are these guys trying to sell? How are they? They can't say we're seriously trying to sell comics, and this is the quality we produce. This is terrible.
But that's the editorial, right? Like it's the editorial team that's accepting this. I mean, the problem is because I used to sketch when I was a kid, and I reckon I could absolutely do that.
Absolutely.
You know, and I always you'd never dream of sending something like that in.
Imagine, yeah, do you know it's exactly what you said a minute ago? Imagine sending this into Marvel Bullpen 1983 and having them critique it and come back to you and tell you, look, technically it's shit, it's off balance. Where's the rest of his face in the background? You're just being lazy by changing the colors. The proportions out. His right leg's not right. Foreshortening's wrong with his hand that's pointing forward. There's so many things wrong with it. And now they're just like, nah, too bad, so sad. Like, where's his shoulders? His arms are coming out of his neck. Everything's wrong.
Well, this is yeah, his head should be more forward, to your point, but it looks like he's hunched up like this.
Yeah, and if he's hunched up, you should see the bow of his belt, right? His belt should arch if he's hunched, but he's not. So the belt shows me he's upright, meaning he's got no neck and no rib cage.
Crazy. But this one is the one again. This going back to this one, the beast's bottom jaw, like the mouth. It's just like what? It's not even well defined.
Nah, man.
It just possesses. What's that? It just passes today. The older books showed an action preview. What's inside?
Yeah, and it, that's a valid comment. I think when we discussed this on Grail Hunters during the week, we talked about the throwback to the 70s and the 80s where the cover was intriguing. It told you, oh, this is what's happening inside. There's a hook to it. It pulls you in. Whereas these covers don't pull you in. And it's supposed, if it's not pulling you in, at least make it be pretty. And this is neither. No. It's not just a sexy pose or a well-painted cover. It's just, it doesn't tick any boxes for me.
Yeah, it's not great.
I can imagine the colorist being like, I can't turn this turd into good art. I'm just gonna wing it.
It's not the first time that we've had those sort of covers, though. I think remember that. Do you remember that Deadpool cover with the graffiti artist that did?
Yes, yeah. I feel like they go through those cycles, right? But they don't necessarily learn from it. That's the problem.
Yeah. Have you got anything else to show off?
Yeah, so I've got two more things which were kind of my highlights. I know if you're doing the countdown on Grail Hunters, I've got probably 8 or 9 to go depending on the day today. So 8. I've got a few things coming from America that I'm hoping to make it by the 25th. That's pretty big, so I'm not going to spoil that. But some of the things that didn't really make my 25 that are really still very special purely because of scarcity and appeal to me personally. I'll share my screen quickly and show you this one.
Yeah,
so
sure.
this is something I landed a year or two ago, and I got it signed last year. So this was my countdown last year, and you'll recognize it purely because of the fact that I think I posted a lot. Share screen. So tab. So this one, right? You know I'm a Hulk 181 fan. You know I'm a Wolverine fan. And for me, this is a lot more special than Hulk 181.
Let's put it up.
Yeah. So for me, this is a lot more special than your standard Hulk 181 purely because of rarity. I think the censors have 50 or less on CGC, on GPA. And in terms of one signed, there's, I think, 10 or less last time I checked. Wow. It came out within 3 or 4 months after the original, and it contains both 180 and 181. So for me, it tells the whole story. It's a first foreign print in terms of timing. It's a repainted cover by a Spanish artist. Everything about it is just, for me, like, this is a special comic to me. I love my Hulk 181, the original, obviously, but for me, I would probably sell that before I sell this one day. It is very, very cool. And that leads into, so this is Spain 1975. So this leads into my show and tell of what I'm going to show you now. So let me stop sharing. So in Spain, because of the popularity of that, they did a second volume and they did it again, and they did it with the original cover. So this came out 4 years later. Also La Masa, but this time it was volume 3, issue 40. So I got this probably August this year. So it's nice to technically complete the Spanish set because I've got both the prints. So this is technically the second print of it.
So it's the same 180, 181, right?
Yeah. So I'll show you what it looks like inside too. Oh, sorry, this is just 180. Oh,
it's
181.
Just
sorry, 181. Sorry.
Right.
There you go. There you go. It's
Wow.
very nice, man. Full color throughout. It's got a backup story, which I think is it's 181, 182 this time around. So this one's got 182 in the back.
Right. So finishes off with that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice, man. It's so cool because, again, because of the page orientation, some of the panels are a little bit bigger and more splashy, and so it was nice for me to be able to land the second Spanish copy. I've got the UK one, obviously. I really love the UK weeklies. It's split into 3 issues instead of 2.
Yeah,
I'm sure you know that.
I keep trying to find that one. I've not had any luck getting a copy of that, and it's got a different cover, right? Because it's got the original head. Didn't they change the head?
That's right. That's right. So this one's also got the original one, so you can see his head kind of sunken in a little bit more.
Yeah.
And it makes it a little bit different, right?
Yeah.
So that was one of the highlights of my 2023, and one that also didn't make the countdown for 2023 is this, purely for nostalgic reasons. This is a sticker / trading card album from 1982. The cover shows both Marvel and DC, and the cards are split probably 2/3 Marvel and 1/3 DC. And I think it's a severe copyright breach from South Africa.
So the South African one where they just basically didn't care and just didn't license it.
Yeah. So
wow.
The company that printed them was called Colin Pen Promotions, and they used to do like sticker and gum type stuff, and then you could collect all the cards.
And is it complete, or is it?
I'm missing 2 cards in this. Ironically and sadly, Wolverine's one of them, but I have found that in South Africa, so it's sitting with a friend in Cape Town.
Right.
And then the last card I still need then to complete the entire set is Marvel Girl X-Men. So the original Marvel Girl. I've got a lot of spares of these cards now because I bought this as a set, but they are 100% 80s, man. Look at that.
That's awesome.
And
it's so funny having them both together.
To see the DC and Marvel side by side, it's just great. And
is there any sort of trademark information in there or not? Is it just completely blank?
No, nothing. So the actual art in the book itself is always Marvel too. But as you can see, Penguin, Dr. Octopus, Catwoman, Red Skull, Riddler. Yeah, it's very nice. So it's gaining appeal because I don't think many people knew they were around. And even 1982, there weren't a lot of trading card sets happening. So people like the old vintage stuff, so now really caught onto this. And I see the loose cards selling in US dollars for quite a lot of money. Whereas back in the day, they would have been packs of 5 or 6 for 10 cents or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So for me to actually get the actual book on top of just the cards was really good because the books were usually destroyed when you hit your teenage years.
I almost got a couple of Secret Wars sticker albums from the UK.
Oh yeah.
They used to have you probably know this, right? There's a Secret Wars magazine that they reprinted, Secret Wars, and in the first issue they had the sticker book that came with it, and it's same as this one, right? Like this came with the Hulk sticker book.
Yeah.
And I used to have both of those, and I was sort of on the hunt again for them now, and I'm debating whether get the stickers separate or in the book. I'm actually more leaning towards the way you've done it, which is get a version with the stickers in the book.
Yeah. Because I've got and it's nice to own the stickers because I've got mine at the back of my Fleer Ultra one, so they keep them nice and flat. But just landing the book makes it nice because the book itself is.
I've got something else. Talking of stickers, which this is sitting up.
Oh man, that's awesome. That is amazing. What year was that?
These are 1970.
That's amazing.
Tops. I think they're the top stickers. They're not the Don Ross ones, which are another set I'm after, but I've got the full set. I think it's season 1.
Yeah.
And they are. I've
Good
got to
on
get
that,
them
man.
ready. I've got to get them
Yeah,
ready.
you should. You should. You must. You must.
But it's like the full set.
Oh man.
Oh, hang on, that way.
Yeah, yeah.
Doctor Strange. What else we got? Dracula.
Oh, look at that. That's amazing, man. Like it would take
Human Torch.
as a kid. Yeah, as a kid, not just peeling those off. It will take a lot of willpower. Daredevil. That's amazing. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Trying to find this one's good.
But
yeah, they're in excellent condition. So again,
pick a few, get them graded, man.
Yeah, I should get them out. And again, there's no sticker book for these, but the one I really want is the Don Russ ones from I think 1964 or 65 to go with the TV show that they did.
Yeah.
But they're like, I mean, it's $1,000 for just one sealed gum pack of those.
Yeah. Wow.
They don't come around.
I helped Tim Weiss. He submitted his turtle stickers from the first set through me to CGC, and when Kevin Eastman was around in June, we got it signed for him. So he got his stickers back, yellow label, graded cards, which is amazing. Wow. And the grade came back 9, man, for those stickers. It was amazing to get them at that. I don't have mine behind me. At that grade, considering, it's 30-something years old at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was really into cards over the COVID period. And it was a bit of a distraction from the comic books because, I mean, the thing that I dislike about grading comics sometimes is the fact that you cannot read them anymore.
Yeah, but you've got 2 or 3 of everything. Who cares? Yeah,
but I think that's this is the other problem, right? Is you end up with so many overcopies.
Yeah.
That you run out of space.
Yeah.
So
I am sitting with a significant problem with the volume of slabs I have, because it's not just my slabs. I hold a lot for the Grey Lanterns group.
Yeah.
People who buy multiple and submit multiple. So at any point in time, I've got like 200 something slabs in this room for other people. Then I've got to find space for my own slabs. It just takes up a lot of space.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So look, that's all I've got for, I mean, you've seen some of my issues that I've been putting on the advent calendar. I'm getting reasonably big now with the last few days.
Yeah, I'm doing the same. I've been gearing up to the finales, but some great books, man. I love seeing it. The activity in Grey Lanterns at the moment is great, because what helps with it too is it helps engagement for people who don't normally post. There's a lot of people who might have been on for a year or two and now they are posting, and it's great to be able to encourage people organically to participate, because it's really, after all, it's just a community group, right? It's not a buy sell page, and it's private and everything. So the more people who participate, the better. But it's nice, like wake up to posts from New Zealand, and then you get the Western Australian ones come out later in the day. So there's activity throughout. We've got a lot of foreigners joining now because they love the Aussie prints as well. So it's a good little hangout.
It's funny trying to find something that not many people have seen or know about. That's what I try and do, or at least something that's sort of just normally out of everybody else's. Someone might not have seen it, or it's it's a book that comes along every few years, and you certainly don't see it at that grade or that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll put these up, I think.
I definitely do, man. They are brilliant. They are so good. Yeah. It's the type of stuff that if I had to see them at a show or something, I would buy them without batting an eye, because it's just you can see the age, you can see by the art that it's 70s, or it's just classic. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a funny one as well, because there is a reprint. Actually, I'll bring this down for you. So you can. What they did do is they reprinted them recently in this thing.
Oh yeah.
So it's like $15-$20.
Yeah.
But it's not the real thing, sure. But you get some of the Don Ross.
The art of it, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want to open it because it just cracks. But it's got, you can see.
Yeah.
The same sort of stickers, but it's not obviously the originals.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is good if you want a sort of cheap copy where you can at least look through them.
We can actually check them out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice, man.
All right. Well,
cool
might let you go.
Yeah, man. Thanks for letting me hang out. And sorry I was a bit late.
Good. Thanks for coming. As I say, I'm going to be doing this probably every week. And yeah, we'll just shoot the breeze. And if you feel like joining, more than happy to have you.
If and when I can, I will. It'll be fun.
All right. Well,
good stuff. Thanks for the chat, man.
Yeah, you too.
Look forward to seeing your top 10. You too.
Yeah. See you soon.